All right, I'm here with my game room tour, a look at my entire game collection and the room that it is housed in for the year 2024 going into 2025. Do these at the end of the year every year. Some years there's more changes than others. This year I'll just say now there's not a whole ton of, brand new change so far, but always like to just update it, kind of preserve its kind of place and time, how things look. So we'll go into it. If you're not familiar with the channel, a lot of my game hunting, or my game buys, especially retro stuff, are from garage sales, flea markets, used to be thrifting and stuff like that, but that's kind of dead as far as finding good stuff. And then I do trade credit. I trade a lot of stuff that I don't want or don't need, buy stuff that I do not want, sell stuff on eBay that are like extras for me that I don't want to buy stuff I do want. So a lot of my retro stuff comes from that. And despite there being a lot of games, just around 3,000 games, a lot of systems, I don't actually have a whole heck of a lot of money put into it just because I've been able to kind of get it to a place where I'm able to make it pay for itself. So that is what I do. If you're new to the channel, put a lot of garage sale pickup videos out, regular pickup videos out, stuff like that. So check those out. They're all in playlists. And I also have a playlist full of individual collections where I go in depth to my collections, how I got games, thoughts on games and stuff like that. So just something to keep in mind. Check that playlist out as well as you look if you want any more in-depth information. But I'll start over with this shelf. Got a complete in box NES action set. Really nice shape this thing is. I think this was a pawn shop find actually. So I think I paid like 80 bucks. I had a stack of games with it. Can't complain there. Another one, garage sale find, Sega Genesis Model 3 box. Really cool box. That was pretty cool. A lot of stuff I got that I have on display. I've been to Japan twice. I've been to Tokyo both times and buy a lot of stuff when I'm there. So this Japanese Sega Saturn in the box is from that. The maracas, Samba de Rigo maracas. The Super Nintendo. I really like how it still has the special offer paper on there. This was a garage sale find as well that had the NES Wayne's World game with it. That's like a really expensive game for some reason, but this is another one in immaculate shape. The people who were selling it to me only asked 20 bucks for it. I gave them $60 for the bundle, which is still absurdly cheap, but better than what they asked for. So this is like the first. There's really no rhyme or reason for a lot of my shelf placements for the most part and where I put stuff. Obviously all game collections are together, but why there's Dreamcast stuff is on the same as, NES and Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color stuff. It's just kind of how it fits. But my Dreamcast collection is up here. I am going for a full set. I think I'm around 12 games away from a complete set, something like that, 10 to 12. So only missing a few like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and some stuff like that. But I'm a huge Dreamcast fan, really like it a lot. I've gotten comments that people get sick when I go too fast by the Dreamcast stuff because I get the black and white. So I'm going to try to do this okay, but as I pan over it. Huge fan of Dreamcast, though. Think it's an awesome system. Iconic library of games. And then there's always some bizarre stuff out there, too. Just really cool. I like that early 3D era. Some of those games don't always hold up very well, but I just like the aesthetic. I like how those games look. And you'll be able to kind of tell that with some of the stuff I collect as well. PS1, another one I really like to collect for. And you get, the iconic games, the Crashes, the Final Fantasies, stuff like that. See if there's anything interesting worth pointing out. I got the Personas. I'm a big Persona fan, so I have both of those. I got these both at the right time. I think I paid somewhere around $110 for that one. And this one was priced at 90 bucks. I had trade credit, so I didn't pay anything for that one. Underrated one, Power Shovel. This is like a weird game. It kind of plays like a QWOP type game. And you pilot construction stuff, and it has an actual controller that's like a construction controller, stuff like that, cranes, stuff like that. Silent Hill, one of my favorites on PS1 as well. I got that at a garage sale earlier this year. Not that copy of it. I've had my own copy forever, but got that one. Wild Arms 2, I remember getting that one at a Goodwill. So stuff like that. Another one, I missed it somewhere. One of my most famous finds, Klonoa. I got that at a Goodwill for I think like $3, something like that. Long time ago though. I don't check Goodwills anymore just because they put all their stuff on Goodwill auction. I got a pretty small Sega Saturn library. I don't have a whole ton of Sega Saturn. Probably most notable was a garage sale find where I got a box of random stuff that just happened to have Die Hard Arcade in there for $10. Whole box. A lot of other miscellaneous Sega stuff. Some Sega CD, another one I don't have. And then just because they're the same size, the long box PS1 stuff. So all those there. Complete in box NES games. We'll get to the cart only NES stuff later, but these are my complete in box ones. I got these three at a guy's garage sale. He brought me in his house and sold me stuff out of his collection. $20 each for the Castlevanias. They're in like immaculate condition. Wish I would have bought more from him because I ended up seeing the rest of his collection. I gave him my info and then I ended up seeing the rest of his collection in the local game store. So it didn't work out. Contra was a garage sale find. Dragon Warrior in the box was a garage sale find. Final Fantasy. Both variants of Zeldas. You'll see sometimes, I'm a Zelda collector, so I have the different variants of some Zelda games. So this is like the original one, where it has like the window into the gold cart. And then this is the classic series, which would be the gray cart version. So stuff like that. I need a manual for this one, but this was my local game store for like $75. Really good deal there. And of course I got it with trade credit. I mean, come on, guys. I bring in totes all the time full of, miscellaneous PS2 Wii garage sale stuff. So I don't know if they love me or they hate me at my local game store, but so this is my Genesis collection. Genesis was like the first system I got. I got it as a hand-me-down when I was real young from some family friends. So I like the Genesis quite a bit. I like the plastic cases. I think it's fun to collect for and some just good games in there. So kind of going through here. I have Master System stuff. I want to put my Master System box on display. It has some like staining on it. So that was one I got too. I got most of my Master System games here in the box are from a garage sale where I got a complete in box Master System and the games for $50. This was like 2016, I want to say. This was a while ago. Some Game Boy, original Game Boy games in the box going into Game Boy Color. My Game Boy Advance boxed games, which I really like to collect Game Boy Advance boxed games if I can. I recently updated that collection, actually, so check that one out. This is from Japan. This is Bomberman collection for Game Boy, but it comes, instead of a normal box, it comes in a little, like, tin bandage container. I always liked that. And then my one box Virtual Boy game. I have actually a couple Virtual Boy games. I do have Waterworld, which is one of the harder ones to get, too, but... And some of the bigger box PS1 games, the Lunars, and a Japanese one that I forget what it is. I got it for 100 yen. And some Japanese Game Boy Advance games. Then down below, if you can see it, F1 Race complete in the box, which was the box was a garage sale find. I had the card already. I'm sure that was a garage sale find too. That's Resident Evil Gaiden there for Game Boy Color. That was a garage sale find for 50 cents. That's a really interesting Resident Evil. It's almost like a turn-based kind of game when you get to combat with zombies. It's pretty cool. Blue Game Gear was a garage sale find for $1. I got it modded, so it's like backlit and everything because the screen didn't work, so I got that modded. Super cool. I have some box Game Gear games. Game Gear's not too bad. I know it gets... the only thing that people ever talk about with Game Gear is that it takes a ton of batteries and it eats through them in like 5 seconds, but... plug it into the wall, play some of the games. It's not too bad. It's a pretty cool system. And when it was, contemporary to the original Game Boy, which was green, I think it kind of beats it in that one. Not the library, though. The Game Boy library is better. Sega Nomad, you're going to get tired of me saying it. Garage sale find. Super cool system. This is a portable Genesis. And then my, loose Genesis carts, loose 32X Master System stuff. All right, so we will go over here. Persona is one of my favorite series, so I have a little display up here of the Q and Q2 special editions, Reload, which came out this year. These are the Switch limited run games re-release. They're not the super special editions, whatever they were called, because those are like $200 each. And then one of my favorite things, this was another trade credit buy, Persona Q in the box, 3DS. Pretty uncommon 3DS, so yeah, it's weird that they ever made it. But I bought a something like 300 CDs from a garage sale for 40 bucks. Traded them into my local game store because they sell CDs and DVDs as well. Got $300 around there for everything once it was all said and done. And they didn't take a bunch of them too, so those just got donated. And I got that for essentially, 20 bucks that I spent. Or 40. I spent 20 for it. I think I said 40 earlier. 3DS games. I love collecting for the 3DS. I'm pretty much done. I mean, there's still some stuff I'd get, but I was getting pretty much everything I wanted, contemporaneous to the 3DS being out. So nothing that I'm like really dying to get. There's a few things that if I find them out and about, I'll grab and put in the collection for sure. But for the most part, not too much that I'm like really need to get. I feel like pretty satisfied with 3DS. I even have some of the weirder ones like the Go-Go Coco Polos. Those were limited run, which I'm not a huge fan of limited run games. I have the, what was that stupid game? Fragrant Story, which was sold on the Squire Games website. It's a weird one. It's like a 20-minute game. It's kind of stupid, but this was from Japan. This is one of my favorite handhelds as well. I really like collecting, especially 3DS, because they had so many cool special edition 3DSs. And this was Japan only for Dragon Quest XI, which we didn't even get on the 3DS in North America. It has a copy of Dragon Quest XI in the box with it. And it has a slime that's like, off, kind of almost like 3D off of the system. It's super cool. Really like that one. Paid an arm and a leg for it, but, happy with my purchases. I think it was somewhere, it wasn't that, it was like 200 bucks for everything. So it was not that bad, but that's Japanese Grade A Saturn like special edition. Shakedown Hawaii, I think, is currently the last official 3DS game. I think Limited Run reprinted a Shantae game, but this is currently the last one. Got this from the Capcom store in Shibuya. It's Godot from Ace Attorney 3. This is the Fire Emblem Fates Special Edition 3DS XL. And then I really like this box, this original DS model box with Samus on it. I always like that one. And the DS, which recently turned 20 years old as of this video going out. Super cool library. I really like it a lot. Some good stuff. A lot of these are from garage sales. I could easily probably triple my DS library with just how many cool and interesting games there are. This is a cool one. I got just the card for this for like $3 at a garage, or not a garage sale, at a pawn shop. And then I ended up buying the case. I spent like 80 bucks on the case, but that's a hard one to find. And I like Suda 51 and Grasshopper a lot, so I wanted to give that one a go. But yeah, just a lot of interesting, strange DS games. It was kind of like a high sales of the systems versus like low cost to develop for it. So you kind of got like a perfect system in a way. Down here, it's kind of hard to film, but Vita. I like the Vita a lot. Big Vita fan. So I got those. That's a Club Nintendo Luigi. That was for the year of Luigi. I live the year of Luigi every year personally, but you know how it is. This is my main HD setup and where I do most of my gaming. Just kind of here. So my main kind of setup as far as playing modern systems. So my TV, it's 55-inch, it's 4K. It's not OLED. It's older, but I mean, at this point, probably if something was wrong with it, I'd like to upgrade to an OLED at some point, but not until, I mean, I'm perfectly satisfied with this TV. My TV stand, every year I don't know what to do with these empty spaces. I used to have my like Xbox One S and my PS4 in those, but I upgraded, so I didn't feel the need to have them out. Because everything's 100% backwards compatible that I care about. So I don't know what I should put there, but I got my Switch. I put the Zelda Joy-Cons on those. I like those Joy-Cons a lot. I have two PS3s set up. I'll get to that in a second, but that's my PS3 for just playing PS3 games and stuff. 360, that's the Star Wars version. Makes little noises. It's fun. This is a PS3 backwards compatible model. So I use this when I need to test PS3 games so I don't get like junk trophies on my main account. And then I also use this essentially as a HD PS2 to play PS2 games since it's backward compatible. This one lights up, this Pac-Man Ghost, but I should have lit that up. Another one was like, I was like, guys, how do I do cable management? Because that looks like a disaster. And my best idea was to just put this Pac-Man Ghost in front of it and pretend like it doesn't exist. The sad little Wii U down there in the corner. I got my PS5. I had to get this stand. I found it at a garage sale, cleaned it up and everything. Had to get this stand because the PS5 is too big for this entertainment shelf. So it stands there. And then the Series X is down here as well, which I wish, why couldn't we, I mean, they're comparable, power wise. Why couldn't we have just got a PS5 that looked like that? I mean, it just looks like a PC tower, like a little PC tower. It's nice looking system. I don't play Series X as much as PS5, of course, but it's a nice system. I thought the Series X looked weird in one of those because it was like a little bit too tall. So I don't know. I got my lamp here. It's not turned on right now, but just a lamp when I don't want to have the overhead lights shining onto the TV giving glare, but I want to have some light on that's not from that. That's great to have. I put the Persona 25th anniversary. I bought that. It was way too expensive for what it was, but I bought it anyway. So I got that. This is the Metal Gear Rising Revengeance lamp. I actually bought this I got this in a deal. I bought someone's game collection for I think I paid $700, and this was just in it. He bought the collector's edition, but didn't keep the outer box, unfortunately. But got the lamp. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, great game. So I guess the main theme, this is like more modern, although it goes back to Wii. I guess I would say this is like the HD shelf setup. This is actually 2 shelves. I always get the question, so it's always in the description, and I'll put it in the pinned comment as well. These shelves I get on Amazon. They're great. I'm very happy with them. They're called like the Atlantic Oscar. They're pretty easy to put together. I think they're pretty good quality. They fluctuate in price, but they're around $100. So highest like $120. Lowest I've seen it was like $85. So there's this size shelf right here. And I'll put it in the comments. I'll just call it the big shelf in the comments. And then these ones are slightly smaller, but they're also Atlantic Oscars. I'll call them the small shelf in the description and in the pinned comment. So I always have the links to them in the description, and they are affiliate links, so I do get a small kickback, but just support the channel or whatever. But it's not really for that. I just figured, I'm linking people to these shelves all the time. Bezos better hand something over for it. I got some of my just special edition big box stuff of games I really like up on the top here. This was a fun one, a video I did. I got this, it's still sealed and everything, but I wanted to do a challenge where I traded like junk games to GameStop to see how much it would take me out of pocket paying for garage sale games and stuff like that to get a Switch. So check that video out somewhere on the channel. We got special editions. My Switch collection here, and this is like a collection that is continuously growing. Switch is huge. I'm always adding stuff to the Switch collection. This library is massive, and the week after this video goes out, I will do an updated look at my Switch collection for 2024, so keep an eye out for that one. Subscribe if you're interested in that. It's a long video. It usually goes well over an hour, so where I talk about games and just my thoughts on it and everything, so keep that one in mind. This is the No More Heroes 3 trilogy pack that was only in Japan. I just liked the box art, so I imported that. Astrobot controller. This is sealed. I'm going to keep it sealed. I love Astrobot. I love the game. I love the little guy. Astrobot is everything to me. I will not put up with Astrobot slander in the comments. I will not accept it. So just keep that in mind. PS5. I just did a PS5 collection video, so check that out if you haven't. Big fan of the PS5. Having a great time with it. I like Grasshopper Manufacturer a lot. This came with the No More Heroes thing. I think it's like a tumbler or something, but I just like the box. My Xbox One stuff, just kind of a strange mishmash of games here, but some Xbox One. I intend on getting my first physical Xbox Series X game soon. It'll be the Indiana Jones game. And I'm going to put it right here. So just picture that. I got to get rid of this dust thing here. PS4. PS4 is another one. I'm pretty set with my PS4 collection. I think I got pretty much everything I wanted as I was buying stuff contemporaneously to the system coming out. But PS4 has a great library. And I've done a recent collection update on this not too long ago. But like I said, everything has a collection update. Some of them more in-depth and more recent than others. But check those videos out. Got some Amiibo I just kind of throw throughout. There's no rhyme or reason for those either. PS3. I was more into the PS3. I had a PS3. I had a Wii first for that generation. Obviously, everyone had a Wii. And then, I was getting older. I wanted to try out some other stuff that wasn't on Nintendo. And the Wii kind of was dying off by like 2010. So, especially 2011. So I switched over, got a PS3. Obviously kept my Wii because I have a huge Wii collection. But moved over to PS3. I don't have too much experience with PSP. Got this in Japan. I think it's called Carnival Red. Cool system. The Wii U gamepad, Zelda edition. Garage sale find. I got that system. The only thing that's different is the gamepad, but got that system, I think, for $60. Wii, guys, don't sleep on Wii collecting. Wii is a super fun system to collect for. There's so many strange games for it, so many interesting games. You get something bizarre like Baroque. Something that you wonder why it even exists, like Cold Stone Creamery, scoop it up. Like the condom game, Dewey's Adventure, he looks like a condom. So many strange games. Of course, the classic Nintendo games that came out for it. But I mean, I'm not trying to give advice. It's not, especially not like investing advice, because I don't see game collecting as an investment in any way. But if you are interested in getting in on a collection before it shoots up in price, if you look at trends, Wii is probably next up for starting to get expensive. So keep that in mind. And I think it's a fun system to collect for. I finished my collection for the most part about probably 10 years ago or so. There's a handful of games I'd like to get, some of the more hard to find ones, but for the most part, I'd say I'm pretty content where things are. But yeah, I like the Wii quite a bit. The Mario and Luigi 3DS XL, I like that design a lot. I like the silver than just the little Mario and Luigi. 360, I would say almost all of these are just from getting stuff at garage sales, building up a collection. 360 has some interesting like like games that aren't on any other system that you're wondering like, why is this not on any other system? It's interesting in that way. And then just some, the classics as well. Then we got Wii U. I am going for a full Wii U set. I may as well start at the beginning. I am going for a full Wii U set. It's not a very hard system to get a full Wii U set for, and I have a lot of the hard to come by ones already. I was, once again, buying most of the games I wanted as they were coming out. So I have a lot of that stuff already. But obviously Wii U as hardware is not amazing, but the games are good. I liked a lot of the games. A lot of the games went on to be some of the most successful Switch games, which is telling that it's just the hardware was not very appealing. So as far as Wii U collecting, it's hard to recommend just because so many of the games are on Switch. But if you're like die-hard Nintendo fan, there's some stuff there for you. That's a Steins Gate Special Edition. I got that in Japan I went to Mount Fuji, and the little town around Mount Fuji had a book-off store that I got that from. I won that in a crane game, that Waluigi. And then these are just some of the Good Smile Ace Attorney figures. I don't know if they'll do any more, but they have like the main characters. I have this. This is, I'll show you, I put my controllers here usually. I usually sit here when I'm playing a game so I can have a table next to me. And then I just have this disaster of stuff. Switch case, DSi XL. My 3DS is in here. Just all kinds of random stuff. My Vita's in here. The PS5 controllers, I got stick drift. The only controller I ever got stick drift was my launch PS5 controller. So, all right. So that's the more modern setup, and then this, because this was an empty wall before I put shelves here. Going more into the retro area, I got a 2 TV setup here, got a futon. This is more just for sitting more than anything. It's obviously, you can see, not the most ideal for trying to look at those TVs. So we'll get into this. How about we'll start going this way. So this is a Bowser's Fury GameStop poster, believe it or not. But I liked the design. I got it, as a pre-order bonus for Mario and Super Mario 3D World on Switch. I liked the design, so I just framed it. Guys, if you have posters, it makes the world of difference to get your posters just framed. Just frame them. You can get, poster frames at like Hobby Lobby or something, or on Amazon. Just frame your posters. They look so much better. No one would even know this is a GameStop poster. Got the Fantastic Systems that I have. I'm missing the purple one. And then as far as system variants goes, I think I'm only going to put... This has only enough room for the Fantastic series. And at some point, I'd like to get little stands for the controllers as well to pair with it. But I don't have all the controllers for these as well. But this was my original one. I got it at this really crappy game store in the mall. This is the first 64 I had when I first started collecting. I got it for $35 with the controller. This was a garage sale find with one of my most famous, scores, where I paid, I think, $44 for this and a bunch of games and a bunch of good PS1 games. And then the rest of these were from stores, trade credit, stuff like that. This thing's pretty cool. This is a Star Fox 64 cardboard R-Wing standee. Still in good shape and everything. This was actually given to me just by someone that my dad knew who worked for Nintendo at one point. They worked for Nintendo America, I think, as like one of the reps or something, like the store reps. So this is vintage N64 era Star Fox 64 R-Wing. Pretty cool. Another GameStop Zelda poster. Once again, Skyward Sword, not one of my favorite Zelda games by any means. It's all right, but I liked that poster, so I put it up. Trying to fill some space. This is my Zelda collection up here. I'll get into this. We got the sealed Tears of the Kingdom back there. This is the Twilight Princess HD Amiibo bundle. This is a sealed system, the Ocarina of Time 2DS. That was a Black Friday bundle. Really like that box. The design of the system's, it's not great, but I really like the box. Got a few Amiibo and then the Link's Awakening back there. This thing's really cool, and it was super cheap in Japan. This is the Majora's Mask. I'm trying to get it. I have box protectors on all of my cardboard boxes just to keep them safe, keep any more damage getting to them. So if there's any reflections on them, that's why. This is Majora's Mask bundle that had a expansion pack in it as well. Got the sealed Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch. That's just a Breath of the Wild thing here. This is the Zelda Switch Lite that just came out with Echoes of Wisdom. Also sealed. This thing, I cannot believe how expensive this has gotten. I bought this with trade credit, like a lot of my handhelds and stuff like that, from a GameStop, just with a bunch of garage sale Wii games, and just was like, oh, I just want to have that in the collection. It's cool. I kept it sealed, and that thing is super expensive now, the Hylian Shield 2DS XL, new 2DS XL. Majora's Mask 3D special edition. These are hard to come by without getting these ripped. That's why I put that in a plastic box. It's very fragile. The Skyward Sword Wii Remote bundle. Some of the, I liked that 35th anniversary. Or the 30th anniversary Zelda Amiibo line was really cool. And this one's not sealed. I use this one, but 3DS XL. That's the 3DS XL I use, the new 3DS. N64. So I'm also going for a full N64 set. I'm not trying to get them all boxed, but I do. My favorite thing to collect for the most part, is box N64. So you'll see that. I have a lot of hard to come by ones. Once again, most of these are trading in doubles for store credit. And getting stuff. So a lot of these I don't have a super ton amount of money for. And this one is actually bought for $60 from someone my dad knew. He had a copy of it. Got that bad boy complete. This one was just really cheap. It was because it was missing manual, but Daikatana, really hard to find N64 game. Blockbuster exclusive for a good while. And that was just kind of weirdly priced for like $70, $75 at my local game store. Crazy one there. Another one that's hard to get is Duck Dodgers. Forget how much I paid for that one, but it was a trade credit thing anyway. One of the harder to come by 64 games, especially in the box. And got all kinds of stuff. I mean, you got like some Marios. I got to get the other Mario Party games. I mean, those get pricey. These are two variants. So this is the regular Ocarina of Time, like gray card version. And then this is the collector's edition with the gold card in it, like the first print. Another one that's pretty tough to find, Indiana Jones Infernal Machine. Another one at my local game store. Underpriced for like, sometimes local game stores will underprice games for like the loose price copy. Like they only price this at like $35, something like that. Something crazy. This was only a few years ago too. Probably the newest game I've actually added to the collection at the time of this video. One I've been looking for forever, especially in the box. I had to bite the bullet. I had like only $20 in trade credit on my account. So they had it at $230, which was already a good deal. So I paid, $210 or whatever for it. But I'm just really happy to get this one in the collection. This was one I didn't have at all for the collection. And I think I'm now 8 games away from a full set, something like that. So one of the hardest to come by N64 games. PGA European Tour. This was just a lucky one. The Goodwill auction site, people completely passed over a N64 system with a bunch of sports games and the like, not realizing this was one of the sports games in there. Very hard to come by one, so keep an eye out for that one. This bunch of stuff. Razor Scooter, I mean, even has their on it Blockbuster exclusive. Not too easy to get, especially with the box. One of the most underrated N64 games, one of the best platformers, probably the best platformer not by Nintendo or Rare, Rocket Robot on Wheels. That's by Sucker Punch, their PlayStation studio now. They made Ghost of Tsushima. Snowboard Kids, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah. I should say, I've been collecting since 2011. So not, I always get people in the comments being like, I've been collecting since 1980. And it's like, all right, Grandpa, get back to the nursing home now. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm just joking, by the way. But it takes time to build up a collection. If you're thinking like, this is going to take so much money, it's like, no, it really just takes time. If you're willing to be patient, if you're willing to be cheap, if you're willing to be smart about stuff, it does not take that long. I should probably say these are Super Famicom games in the box. These are Japanese N64 games. As part of trying to get the full N64 set, I'm also trying to get as many of the Japanese ones as I can. So these are almost all Japanese exclusives. Got some cool ones here. Probably one of my favorite ones is Animal Crossing, the original release that we didn't get over here. But we got like a Puyo Puyo game. That's pretty cool. This is supposed to be a pretty cool RPG from Enix. Super Nintendo. I like to say I have a pretty good Super Nintendo complete in box collection here. All 3 Final Fantasies. These were trade credit finds. And I should say too, 10 years ago or so when I was getting a lot of this stuff, the prices were a lot different. This was fully complete and in immaculate shape for $80 they had it for at my local store. Prices were just different too. I mean, I would say games being prohibitively expensive to collect is a product of COVID and the post-COVID kind of game collecting boom. And the prices are going down in a lot of places. But going around this here. One of the weirdest stories, Mario RPG, there was a game store, it's not in business anymore, who used to just throw away all their boxes and manuals, only sell the carts for stuff like this. So I was buying all their boxes and manuals for a while from them. That's how a lot of these boxes came from. I paid like $2 for this box and manual. I went and bought the cart for like $50 and completed it for cheap. So stuff like that. We'll get down here. I'm going to move that out of the way. I got Mario holding a Gamecom. I got some complete in box N64 accessories, including this one. This is a Mad Catz, third-party extension cable, but cool to still have it in the box. This is full of Zelda strategy guides. That's a Club Nintendo pin set. And then this I got in Japan too. It's just the Rumble pack in the box. I want to get more of the Japan accessories in the box. I really like the box design. The N64 box design in Japan and just all those box designs are really awesome with like the kind of outlines, the colorful outlines. Super cool. And then most of this is strategy guides. A lot of the paperback ones, and then some hardcover books and hardcover strategy guides as well. Power Glove, that is was a family friend was just selling out his collection, and that was in there. He was selling out all his old games. He didn't realize anyone even cared to get them. N64 doormat. This just goes into the rest of the basement, but I have most of my game storage in there, but it's a disaster, so I'm not going to show that. TV number 1. I used to, in older game room tours, I used to put up, just have games running like their demo or whatever, but it made a really annoying humming sound in the background that a lot of people were annoyed by, myself included, watching the video back. So I'm not going to do that anymore. So it looks a little dull, but what can you do? This Xbox sign was from a store that closed that I bought a ton of stuff from. One of my first collection, like pickup videos back in 2014, 10 years ago. Got some more amiibo over here. The Game & Watches, the more recent release ones, and some more amiibo there. I won this in a crane game in Japan. This cool Zelda, cloth manor. This is, I should say, I have all my retro systems in here, but it's turned off. I only have it turned on when I need it, so it's not a fire hazard, I promise. This was bought in the Nintendo store in Shibuya, full of these guys. And I recently did an Amiibo collection video that was pretty fun to do, so check that out. But just excess Amiibo. I'd like to be able to display them someday, but this is just a Hitachi CRT. It's pretty good. This is genuinely the TV my parents had in the 90s. And then when I was growing up, and it ended up just being mine when they got a new TV, and it's still mine. So it still works. It's extremely heavy, but it still works. I got my Sega monstrosity. You can't really see it there, but it has the 32X also plugged in at the top. Super Famicom, PS1, the slim model, which I've called the PSONE before, and someone got mad at me for that. That's just determining, it's just a way to discern the PlayStation 1 versus the PlayStation 1 that, oh, look, guys, you spell it PSONE1. Someone's like, oh, you saying it stands for something, like, and it's an acronym? I'm like, no, it's just how they spell it out. It's just a way. Master System, and then that's a Japanese PlayStation. And then just a video switcher there. So that is setup number 1. That's the less used setup. As you can see, those systems are not always ones that I'm playing very commonly. So setup number 2, there are a few systems I am missing from my setups. So I don't have NES or Super Nintendo hooked up to either of my setups right now. Most of those games are on the Switch Online that I would want to play. And I just can pull them out and plug them into the front of the TV. I just don't have space for them, and I'd rather have some of this other stuff set up. So this is setup number 2. I bought this TV stand. It's like the perfect retro gaming TV stand. Bought it at a thrift store. It was originally like this really ugly off-color brown. Sanded it down. Bought, paint for it. I paid $5 for the stand at the thrift store, and then the paint was, I think, like $9. And I think it looks great. This is a great TV stand for this kind of thing. So check your local thrift stores if you're looking for TV stands for old TVs, because I'm sure they would be thrilled to get rid of it as well. But this is a Sony Trinitron I got from a garage sale for $2 that they were, once again, thrilled to get rid of. It's a great retro TV, great sound, great picture. Pretty good size, too. This is Lego Tokyo. This Nintendo sign, I know people like this. I got this as a gift. I think it was from Etsy, so this is not official. I don't know where, how to get it nowadays, but there you go. Wii, GameCube. This is my original GameCube from when I was a kid, alongside the original Game Boy player I had as a kid. Dreamcast, PS2 Slim, my 64, 2 switchers at the bottom, and then I have an Xbox here and a Saturn over here. And then I have some storage in here. I don't exactly even remember what's in here. It's hard to open. Okay, so I have my Japanese Saturn in here. I have a 3DO in here. That was a garage sale find, a 3DO actually. My Virtual Boy controller, Dreamcast keyboard, my Super Nintendo second model, my NES, and then a TurboGrafx, which was also a garage sale find I got. And then a Japanese PS2 Slim as well. And still got the bags. Got a good deal on that, 6,300 yen. But I have a Japanese PS2 Slim over here. So that is what's in storage. And that stuff is stuff that as far as retro gaming goes, I like it, but I don't play it as much. There's other ways to play that stuff. So if I want to play it, I can easily pull it out, plug it into the front of the TV, and just play it that way. But it's not part of the regular setup. So this is still going. This is my last shelving unit here. I got another futon. I like this pillow. I got it from the Nintendo store in Shibuya. That's the only Nintendo store I've been to. I have not been to the one in New York. Or any of the other ones. These, I forget what the brand is. Oh, Pixel Frames. You can get them pretty commonly. They have all kinds of retro ones. I thought they just were good for this little space in between the shelves because I need a place for the table to go next to the couch. Got some of like my classic edition systems here. So like the NES, the Super Nintendo, those are great. TurboGrafx one's also pretty cool. As someone who's interested in the TurboGrafx, but that as far as systems to find, I mean, I found this one system. That's the only TurboGrafx thing I've ever found is that one system. So games are well out of my price range. I never find them to trade stuff in on. I don't really buy much on eBay. So as far as that goes, that's like my best bet of finding TurboGrafx stuff. And that was like Amazon exclusive. You could only buy it there. The PlayStation Classic, this is still sealed. They didn't do great with this. It's really half-baked. So I got it like deep clearance, like 25 bucks or something. Spice Orange GameCube in the box. My first trip to Japan in 2018, I got this for, I think, 5,000 yen, which is like less than $50. So great deal and really cool. That's my Japanese GameCube I use when I play Japanese games. Garage sale find GameCube. Just a regular black one. This is the Genesis Mini 2nd edition. I don't think too many people even know this exists, but it was exclusive to Amazon JP, even though it is the American release. This has some Sega CD games on it. It has all kinds of weird stuff on there. So really cool. And I think these Sega Genesis Minis are the best of the mini consoles. Sega knocked it out of the park. Garage sale find Mario Paint in the box. Garage sale find Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix in the box. Just goes hard. Look at that. Mario just breakdancing like that goes hard. My NES collection. I'll see if there's anything, worthwhile kind of pulling out and just talking about here. Loose NES stuff. A lot of it from garage sales, flea markets, and the like. Felix the Cat. This was from like a store where the guy, it was like a thrift store kind of, but the guy said, like, would admit to the fact that he would just root through rich people's trash in nice neighborhoods and sell the stuff. So I'm going to guess that was in the trash, but I got that for $2. It's like hard to come by an NES game. Wayne's World, like I said earlier, that pretty hard to come by one. That was in that, just a bundle. Jimmy Connor's Tennis is hard to come by one. Got that at a Goodwill. So NES is like the classic system to collect for, really. I think that's like the base video game collector system. My Super Nintendo collection, I should probably start at the top. Super Nintendo, of course, classic system. This was bought by another game saved from the trash, bought by Sky85. His uncle was about to throw away all his old video games. Sky85, beloved Monster Hunter YouTuber, sold those to me. Earthbound, got that at a garage sale for $5. Great video. Check that one out. There is a pickup video playlist, as well as each individual garage sale season year for when I started filming at garage sales back in 2022. So there's 3 series of that. Sunset Riders was another garage sale score. All kinds of stuff. And then loose N64, not the most impressive to look at, just because no end labels. So I kind of put the cooler games out front to take a look at here. So, like I said, going for the full set. These are the ones that I just don't have boxes for yet. Super Bowling, longtime viewers will know the story of how I got this at a garage sale with a complete in-box Super Nintendo for $5. And there was a copy of Dr. Franken on Super Nintendo and Donkey Kong Country and this for some reason. Only 64 game. And then I sold the cart because it wasn't in the best shape. And if you guys don't know, this is one of the most expensive games on the N64. Just a low print run, late release, low selling game. But I ended up getting it back for like $200, something like that I had to pay. So it hurts, but at least it's been made right. Worms Armageddon, also one of the bigger games for 64. GameCube. So I got most of my GameCube games, when I was collecting early on, because it was the system, I grew up with. So I bought a lot of games just naturally, and then I was getting a lot of games early on. So I remember like the mid-2010s, people would be like, oh, you can't collect for GameCube. You got to collect for NES, Super Nintendo. That's the real retro. You can't, no one cares about GameCube. And now all the same people are like, oh my God, GameCube games. Oh, they're so awesome. They're so epic. And it's like, I've been telling you guys GameCube's great for years. GameCube's awesome. My favorite system. Amazing library. Awesome stuff. Fire Emblem. I got this copy from Sky85 way back in the day. I paid $10, which was a little bit less than the going rate at that point. It's shot up. I've also got that at a garage sale before too. But as far as things go, a lot of this stuff is just garage sales, like the Pokemon Coliseums and stuff. Flea market. Resident Evil 3 was like from the flea market, stuff like that. And a lot of them I was just buying, like, oh, what's Wario World? This game is $5 at my local game store. I might as well check it out because no one wants GameCube games right now. Got some of the big box stuff, and then this is like Japanese GameCube games there. So, pretty cool. PS2, PS2 is a random library because it's just like, yeah, I'm collecting PS2 games. I'll keep whatever's remotely interesting that I find at garage sales, and there's a lot of it. So, a lot of PS2 stuff. That Arc the Lad thing is from Japan. I think I paid 800 yen for it. These were like the pawn shops, like some of this stuff, like Wild Arms. That was like the complete set was that. And Xenosaga 3 is the Lenticular. That was an eBay score from like 2013 that just ended up being really good. I wanted to get a bunch of the PS2 RPGs, and that was in there, and I paid like $50 for everything. That's the last time I was really reliably using eBay. So you can tell about how long that's been. So yeah, PS2, a lot of cool games, a lot of interesting games, huge library, and I'm always finding PS2 stuff, so. Yeah. Original Xbox, which makes me mad I can't call this Xbox One, but oh well. Underrated library for sure. I really like the original Xbox library. Underrated. Cool stuff, cool exclusives. Sometimes you got the best version of some games on there. And then I got the Super Mario block. Little beknownst to most people, it is actually a Yahtzee. Super Mario Yahtzee, but I just like the little block. I got it for $1 at a garage sale. Some Pac-Man stuff. The glasses were cheap at garage sales and stuff. These are Nintendo games on non-Nintendo systems. I used to collect Atari stuff, but I got rid of it. I just wanted to focus. I don't really care for like pre-NES too much. I think it's interesting historically, but as far as playing it and collecting it, it's just not really my thing. So, got a few 3DO games. These are video game soundtracks. This is my one CDI game. I don't have a CDI, but I got this for cheap. Yeah, Hanna-Barbera Cartoon Carnival. My only two TurboGrafx games, and as you can see, probably the two most iconic, classic, and easy to come by TurboGrafx games that aren't sports games. And then my small PSP collection. I don't have too much PSP experience because I never had one as a kid or anything, so. And then last, but certainly not least, actually probably most, my Tiger Gamecom collection. 2 sealed Tiger Gamecom games. Crazy. So that is it for the game room tour, to my knowledge. I think that's everything, or else I would say that, but I actually missed the table over here. So this is where my videos are actually shot. If you guys watch my videos, we'll go do a point of view of where you were at, or that's probably trippy, right? That's where the videos are usually shot. I almost forgot the table over here. So this was from Pottery Barn Teen, and it is a PlayStation table that was on clearance. And I really like it. It's actually really high quality. It does scratch easy, so I got a piece of glass made for it, but other than that, got the Mario phone, got the Virtual Boy, and then I keep controllers in these here. Nothing too crazy. I do have the Sega Sports controller, but I don't have the Sega Sports console yet for Dreamcast. 3DO controller. N64 controllers. All the fantastic ones. And I have 2 Sega Sports controllers. I didn't even know I had that. Okay. I think some GameCube. Stuff like that. So that's it. That's the game room tour. I hope it was... I don't know how different things are from last year. I hope it was still interesting, not too repetitive or anything like that. But that was it as far as that goes. So if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like I said. Before December 20th, leave a comment down below if you had questions that you want answered in a Q&A. But otherwise, leave comments just with what you like, what stuff you recommend I should get, anything like that, thoughts on the overall collection. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Follow me on Blue Sky. My username there is Objo Gaming. And I really appreciate you for watching this one. This is always the biggest video of the year. If you're new to the channel, check out the playlist, check out the videos. Just game hunting stuff, game collecting stuff, just a little hobby channel. I'm not by any means trying to do this full time or anything. So just check it out. Keep that in mind. And until next time, I'd like to thank you for watching.